This is Voice of Korea.
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 Now we begin the English language transmission from Pyongyang, the capital of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
Here is mixed chorus. Song of General Kim Il-sung. We now present a middle chorus. Song of General Kim Jong-il. You're listening to Voice of Korea News Now. Respected Kim Jong-un received the floral basket and the congratulatory letter from the foreign military attaché corps in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of the great leader Kim Jong-il's election as chairman of the National Defense Commission of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Hassan Reza Husseini, military attaché of the Embassy of the Islamic Republic of Iran, who is doyen of the corps, conveyed them to General of the Korean People's Army Kim Jong-sik, Minister of the People's Armed Forces, on Monday. A congratulatory letter sent to Kim Jong-un by the military attaché of the Embassy of the Arab Republic of Egypt was conveyed to an official consent. The British Association for the Study of Sungan Policy recently posted on its internet homepage the full text of the great leader Kim Jong-il's famous work on the Juche idea. Senior officials of the party and state and members of the central leadership of the party in Pyongyang visited the homes and pillars of the sun and paid naval tribute to the great generalissimo Kim Jong-il on the 9th on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of his election as chairman of the National Defense Commission of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Seen before the full-length statues of the great generalissimos Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il was a floral basket laid in the name of respected Kim Jong-un. The floral basket was laid before the statues in the joint name of the Central Committee and the Central Military Commission of the Workers' Party of Korea and the National Defense Commission, the Presidium of the Supreme People's Assembly and the Cabinet of the DPRK. A national meeting was held at the April 25th House of Culture in Pyongyang on Monday on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of the election of the great leader Kim Jong-il as chairman of the National Defense Commission of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Present at the meeting were Kim Yong-nam, Park Bong-ju, and other senior officials of the party, state and army, chairperson of a friendly party, officials of the party, armed forces and government institutions, public organizations, ministries and national agencies, officers and men of the Korean People's Army and the Korean People's Internal Security Forces, officials of institutions of science, education, literature and arts, public health and the press, labor innovators and working people. Park Bong-ju, member of the Political Bureau of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea and Premier of the Cabinet of the DPRK, made a report. He said the election of Kim Jong-il to the important post of the chairman of the National Defense Commission was a historic event of epochal significance in strengthening and developing the republic and accomplishing the Sungan or Army First Revolutionary cause of Juche, and continued. As he was the supreme leader of the republic, the political military power of the Sungan Korea was strengthened in every way, and firm foundation laid for the building of an economic giant and the improvement of the people's living, despite rigorous trials. our armed people will praise and honor forever the revolutionary achievements of Generalissimo Kim Jong-il, who radically changed the position of the country and nation and opened the road for eternal prosperity of the Republic with the strength of the invincible military force. Kim Jong-il's nation-building idea and achievements of the Sundan era are being successfully carried forward by respected Kim Jong-un. Under the outstanding and seasoned leadership of Kim Jong-un, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea will prosper infinitely, braving all such ideas of history. Premier Park Geun-hye called upon all to fight more staunchly for the final victory in the total confrontation, the defense of the sovereignty of the country and the building of a prosperous nation, for national reunification and the accomplishment of the revolutionary cause of Juche, in firm unity around the Party Central Committee led by Kim Jong-un. A 10-day film show opened at the Pyongyang International Cinema House with a due ceremony on the 8th to celebrate the Day of the Sun, the birth anniversary of President Kim Il-sung. Documentaries including President Kim Il-sung with the Workers and feature films including Star of Korea, which show the revolutionary history of the great Generalissimo Kim Il-sung, will be screened at all cinema houses and houses of culture in Pyongyang and other parts of the country. Present at the opening ceremony were Kim Ji-nam and other officials concerned, film creators and artists, and working people in Pyongyang. After the opening ceremony, the participants appreciated the documentary, Our Leader Praised by All People. The 10-day film shows also opened in all provinces that day. A meeting was held at the Hamon Grand Theatre on Monday on the occasion of the 10th anniversary of the great leader Kim Jong-il's field guidance to South Hamgyong Province. Present there were officials of the party and government institutions and working people's organizations and working people in the province. The reporter said Kim Jong-il visited South Hamgyong Province in April 1992 or 2003 and brightly indicated the route to be followed by the province. He called for foiling the attempt of the US imperialists and their followers to stifle the DPRK and bringing about a great revolutionary upsurge in economic construction in support of the instructions of the great Kim Jong-il and the decision of the March meeting of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea. Military officials called the DPRK visited the Manjongdae Revolutionary School on Monday on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of the great leader Kim Jong-il's election as chairman of the National Defense Commission of the DPRK. They laid a floral basket before the bronze statues of the great leaders Generalissimos Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il in the school and made a bow to them. A meeting of foreign crewmen for remembering the great President Kim Il-sung was held at the Nampo port on the 8th on the occasion of the Day of the Sun. The participants first laid bouquets before the bronze statue of President Kim Il-sung in Nampo City and paid homage to him. Present there were the captain and crewmen of the Chinese ship Jinpai. Speakers at the meeting said President Kim Il-sung was a prominent leader who created the Juche idea and turned Korea into a powerful socialist country. A letter to respected Kim Jong-un was adopted at the meeting. Medical workers of the Pyongyang Medical College Hospital of Kim Il-sung University in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea established a clinical medicine information service system which makes it possible to use medicines necessary for the treatment of patients in a scientific way and provide necessary information promptly and correctly. The service system has about 12,000 kinds of pharmaceuticals and over 154,000 kinds of medicines produced in more than 50 countries of the world. It has also more than 15,000 words for search concerning indications, side effects, and contraindications, so that everybody can freely search necessary information on medicines on their basis. An event was held at the Taedonggan Diplomatic Club on the 8th on the occasion of the World Health Day. Present there were officials of the public organizations and institutions of public health and the press. Also on hand were members of the missions of the World Health Organization and the United Nations Children's Fund in Korea, the delegations of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies and the International Committee of the Red Cross working in this country and foreign embassies. The participants watched the video on hypertension and kinesiotherapy and looked around the literature on prevention of hypertension. They visited the fitness center in Tongil Street. That day, intensive information activities on hypertension were conducted in all provinces on the same occasion. According to a decree of the Presidium of the Supreme People's Assembly of the DPRK, Park Kyung-sun was appointed Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the DPRK to the Republic of India. The National Reunification Institute in the DPRK issued a white paper on the 8th. The white paper said the U.S. imperialists and the South Korean puppets described the Kiev Resolve and Full Eagle joint military exercises as annual and defensive ones, but it is a sophistry to cover up their aggressive and provocative nature. Under the subtitles, 60-year-long North-targeted war exercises, world's most dangerous war exercises, and vicious nuclear war exercises inviting nuclear disasters, the white paper exposed in detail the seriousness and danger of the mass-targeted war exercises conducted by the U.S. imperialists and the South Korean puppet, and the real provoker bringing the danger of nuclear war to the Korean Peninsula. Press statement of a spokesman for the Korean Asia-Pacific Peace Committee. The situation of the Korean Peninsula is running to the eve of a thermonuclear war due to the increasingly ferocious hostilities and war moves of the United States and the South Korean warmongers against the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The present situation seriously affects peace and security of not only the Korean Peninsula but also the Asia-Pacific region. We have already announced resolute military countermeasures to defend the dignity of the nation and the sovereignty of the country from the aggrandized threat of the aggressors. Now the United States and the South Korean warmongers are extensively shipping nuclear hardware and other weapons of mass destruction into South Korea and watching for a chance to trigger off an aggressive war on the DPRK. If the fuse to a war is lit in the Korean Peninsula, it will turn out to be a total war, a merciless secret retaliatory war over ours. We do not want foreigners in South Korea to suffer in case a war breaks out. The Korean Asia-Pacific Peace Committee informs all foreign organs and firms, tourists and other foreigners in Seoul and other parts of South Korea that they should take measures for evacuation in advance for their personal security. Pyongyang, April the 9th, Choche 102 or 2013. The European regional headquarters of the Pan-National Alliance for Korea's Reunification and the Society for Cooperation Among Koreans in Germany issued a joint statement on the 3rd in support of the special statement of the DPRK government, political parties and organizations. The 8th Corps of the South Korean Army plans to conduct a large-scale firepower striking drill on the coast of South Korean Gangwon province on the 9th, in cooperation with the naval and air forces. It is said that the drill will involve all calibers of artillery pieces belonging to the Corps, 9 destroyers of the naval force and KF-16 and F-5 fighters of the Air Force. The Warhawks intend to do target practice up to the maximum range in a real war atmosphere. The left bloc of the Austrian Trade Union Federation sent letters to the US and South Korean embassies in Austria on the 2nd in protest against the anti-DPRK war moves of the United States and the South Korean puppets at the stage of real war. The Communist Party of Sweden recently posted the article "Where Does the Real Threat Come From?" on its internet homepage. The article exposed the United States, which is threatening the DPRK with nukes and bringing the situation of the Korean Peninsula to the brink of war. The Pioneer Party of Indonesia issued a statement in support of the tasks put forward in the March 2013 plenary meeting of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea and the special statement of the DPRK government, political parties and organizations. 21 political parties and organizations of Pakistan, including the Awami National Party, the Association for the Study of Self-Reliance, the Pakistan-Korea Friendship Association, and the Labor Union, issued a joint statement, and the U.S. Institute of Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism, a statement in support of the statement of the Supreme Command of the Korean People's Army. The Daily Rodong Shimun on Tuesday carried an editorial under the title, "The exploits performed by the great Kim Jong-il in the building of a thriving nation will be immortal," on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of the great leader Kim Jong-il's election as chairman of the National Defense Commission of the DPRK. And that's the end of the news read by Kim Hyun-oh. This is Voice of Korea. The Daily Rodong Shimun of the DPRK carried a commentary on Tuesday under the title, "Suicidal Acts of Warmongers." The commentary said, the South Korean Marine Corps declared April as a so-called month of resolve to win victory in war, and is unprecedentedly busy examining preparedness for prompt action in case of contingency and giving moral education. The South Korean puppets set the militarily occupied West Sea area as an operational district and scheme to make military provocations while strengthening the ability to deal with the emergency situation, stronghold occupying exercise, air and naval firing exercise, and the like, with the mobilization of the units in the area, malignantly talking about invasion of the north, such as recapture of 5 islands on the West Sea and entry into Pyongyang. Or still, they intend to invite even the U.S. Marine Corps involved in the Full Eagle joint military exercises for 4 joint exercises, including landing drill, tactical drill, and ball firing. Such senseless military acts of the South Korean warmongers are premeditated and intentional moves to bring the present aggravated tension to explosion. The reckless acts of the South Korean Marine Corps are as good as adventurous gambling on the lives of 40 million people. The armed people of the DPRK will answer the enemy's provocations with a strong nuclear retaliatory strike and blow up all the hangouts of aggression and war on this land. That was the commentary under the title, "Suicidal Acts of Warmongers," carried in the Daily Rodong Shimun of the DPRK on Tuesday. This is Voice of Korea. Please enjoy your meal, Carlos. The general will be modeled as the sun.
This is a note of Choi Young-hwan in Daebodong, Botonggang District, Pyongyang, the capital of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. My heart is still warm with his love. My longing for the great leader President Kim Il-sung is increasingly warm with the approach of his birth anniversary, April 15th. My family also enjoy the paternal love of President Kim Il-sung, who devoted his whole life to the welfare of the people. Tens of years has passed, but still vivid in my eyes is the moment when I was happy in the arms of President Kim Il-sung. It was January 10th, 1949 or 1960. Nobody had dreamed that on the day the fatherly leader President Kim Il-sung would visit my home of an ordinary citizen of the capital city. It was so unexpected that my mother could not offer proper greetings to him because of gratitude and great excitement. He read my mother's feelings, and wearing a bright smile on his face, took me on his laps and kindly asked about our life, about the number of rooms and family members, the seating facility, and if we were not cold, and if there were any difficulties in life. As a matter of fact, the living condition of my family was not so bad at the time. My mother frankly said to him that the structure of the house and living conditions were all nice. President Kim Il-sung brightly smiled again and asked how we were using drinking water without tap. The moment, my mother was greatly moved. She was too grateful for his visit to her house and could not think even in dream that he would learn that we had not tap water. In fact, water is part of the life to the housewives. But as water wagon was regularly supplying water, we did not feel great difficulty. So my mother said there was no problem. President Kim Il-sung said again that we would not be satisfied with the supplied water. Then he told officials to lay water pipeline quickly and solve the issue of drinking water. Indeed, we saw our father in him. He said in the future, the heating system should be re-established and cooking be done with gas, so that the people could live in a clean and cultured environment, and it is precisely the people's ideal street. Officials and my mother and family members felt with thanks the increasingly warm love of the great father President Kim Il-sung for the people. Now I often tell my children not to forget the love of President Kim Il-sung forever. His lofty intention to provide the people with a happy life is represented in the streets and houses in different parts of the capital city. Solima Street, Yonggwang Street, Munsu Street, Gwangbok Street, Cheonyu Street, and other parts of Pyongyang are permeated with the life of people of President Kim Il-sung and the great leader Kim Il-sung, who was true to his intention all his life. The ever-changing view of the capital Pyongyang warms up my heart all the more. Respected Marshal Kim Il-sung, who visited the houses of workers and office workers in the new Changzhou Street, resembled President Kim Il-sung, who visited my house 20 years ago. The love of President Kim Il-sung shown to my family is invariably shown to all houses across the country, making the people happy. Listening to a note under the title, My Heart Still Warm with His Love. This is Voice of Korea.
This time, we present the song My Country is So Nice, created in 1958 or 1969. Prisoner Mil Chorus. Brilliant commander of Mount Baekdu looks down at the 3,000-li land. Here is a trumpet swallow, the blue sky over my country. Now you enjoy your meal, chorus. We will defend General Kim Il-sung at the cost of our lives.
Last kick of the frightened enemy. The United States and the South Korean puppets are frantically conducting the Full Eagle joint military exercises in South Korea. The 3 nuclear striking means of the United States are mobilized in the North-targeted war exercises conducted under the pretext of coping with what they call threat and provocation. Conducting the Full Eagle for a preemptive nuclear attack on the DPRK, the United States and the South Korean puppets are jealous in arms build-up. The United States continues to throw B-52 and B-2A strategic bombers for nuclear bombing exercises aimed at the DPRK. At the same time, numerous nuclear hardware continue to be thrown into South Korea and the waters of the Korean Peninsula. nuclear carriers are coming, while nuclear strategic bombers, nuclear submarines, and other preemptive striking means of the U.S. imperialist aggressive forces are sauntering about in and around South Korea. The United States stealthily sent nuclear carriers to the waters of the Korean Peninsula on March 27th. Nuclear carrier Nimitz departed the Seattle Naval Base of the United States for a task in the Korean Peninsula. On the same day, nuclear carrier Stennis, which was operating on the Indian Ocean, also left for the waters of the Korean Peninsula for the same purpose, and started to perform its task on the 4th in the Western Pacific, where it can put the Korean Peninsula within its operational range. Not only that, some time ago, the 23rd Chemical Battalion of the U.S. Army from the U.S. mainland was redeployed in the 2nd Division of the U.S. imperialist aggressive forces in South Korea. It is very ill-boding that the battalion, which was withdrawn to the U.S. mainland in 2004, was redeployed 9 years later. It is a manifestation of their wicked plot to mobilize all means and methods, including biochemical warfare, in another Korean war. Due to the North-targeted war exercises and arms buildup promoted by the United States and the South Korean puppets, slandering are just countermeasures to defend sovereignty as what they call provocation and threat, an explosive, dangerous situation has been created in the Korean Peninsula, where a nuclear mushroom may explode when nobody knows. The United States and the South Korean puppets scheme to frighten the DPRK through reinforcement and deployment of even a unit for biochemical warfare, in addition to the mobilization of all sorts of nuclear striking means. But the unbiased public at home and abroad comments that it is nothing but a ridiculous first kick of those frightened by the self-defensive nuclear deterrent and merciless retaliatory strike of the DPRK to be mounted on them. To cope with the desperate arms buildup of the United States and South Korea, the General Staff of the Korean People's Army, through its spokesman's press statement, declared that, as announced by the Supreme Command, powerful and practical military countermeasures would be taken in succession, and the U.S. hostile policy and nuclear threat against the DPRK will be foiled completely by the iron will of the United Army and People of Korea and by small and light, diversified latest nuclear striking means of Korean style. The Army and people of the DPRK will never remain an onlooker to the North-targeted war exercises and arms buildup of the United States and the South Korean puppets. If a war breaks out, they will mercilessly slash the enemy's nuclear hardware and biochemical weapons with a baptism of fire. The U.S. imperialists and the South Korean puppets must not run senselessly, bearing in mind that no weapon can save them from death. You've been listening to an account under the title, Last Kick of the Frightened Enemy. This is Voice of Korea.
Here is a need, cowards. Our rifles will not forgive them.
Dear listeners, with this we conclude the English language service of Voice of Korea from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Voice of Korea presents its English language service for Southeast Asia between 5 and 6 hours UTC on 13,650 kHz and 15,105 kHz, and between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,735 kHz and 13,650 kHz. For Middle East and North Africa, between 16 and 17 hours UTC on 9,890 kHz and 11,645 kHz, and between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 9,875 kHz and 11,635 kHz. For Southern Africa, between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 7,210 kHz and 11,910 kHz. And for Central and South Americas, between 4 and 5 hours UTC on 11,735 kHz, 13,760 kHz, and 15,180 kHz, time between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,710 kHz and 15,180 kHz. Goodbye, this is Pyongyang.